It's Rana, and today is day 27 of Scraptember. I am showing you some products that I'm going to use today. This is all from Cocoa Vanilla Studio. Well, a lot of it's from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, legendary. There's probably a few bits in here from some of the older collections as well. I have these super old stickers that have the coolest texture, and I really like them. And I am doing the prompt single photo. So what I'm showing you now is I'm trying to kind of pick up the piles is just a slew of scraps from this collection. Now I'd love to say that this is the end of this collection and if I use all these scraps then I'm done, but that's not even close. There's a full sheet here and that's going to be my background. The the true story with this is I have all of these scraps. I don't use all of them. And I still have a ton of this collection left. So that's great because I love it and I don't want to run out in a way because it's perfect for so many of my boy photos that I still need to do. So I did get a good bulk of some of my favorite papers on this layout, and I had a lot of fun. I did kind of a throwback of how a style that I loved for a long time and did a lot of. Probably not as many in his book because he's younger and I had kind of started doing some different things with his, but I really got the layers in here. And on a lot of these, there were torn scraps, and I just left them just like they were, or on that one, I just tore a little bit more. You saw on the background, I was using something that I had cut a cut file out of as the very back, and then I layered my background paper over it for that border. And I decided I wanted to kind of offset how I did it. And so everything, the whole design kind of went from there. So I have it offset, and then I'm going to use my photo farther down in the lower left, and then have all those layers kind of going up to the right there where there's a bigger border around the paper. And I thought it was kind of a fun little design with that element, and then just lots and lots of layers. And I don't know about you, but it's just kind of a good feeling to throw on a ton of layers. This layout really didn't take me very long. My scrap time seems to be shorter and shorter. We're just have so much going on and so busy, and I knew I didn't have a lot of time for this layout, and I was able to complete it in just over an hour, which, I've gotten some done like that lately. I love this star paper here, and I took it back out and thought, oh, I need to get some of these layers glued together. I don't want to run out of room for my title and some other elements that I want to use. So I thought, oh, I'm going to kind of make some decisions here, get some stuff all glued on, and then I will continue with the layering. And then I never put that star paper in there, and I really liked it. So it'll go on the next one. I used that navy blue there because it was a really good focal point, and it really draws your eyes to the photo so you can see how all the other layers kind of just blend and go beautifully together in the background, and that navy really draws your eye. And then on the right side, so that's mostly on the left side, and then on the right side I'm going to have that dark navy alpha over there, and so that's going to balance it. So I kind of liked how that was looking. I am going to, of course, go through and rough up the edges. I know a lot of people like to use inks, and I've done some of that a little bit more. Well, I used to do it all the time, way back, and I've done it a little bit more on some of my layouts. But I think my go-to, especially when I'm going to do some rips and tears and that kind of thing, is just to use my fingernail and kind of roll up the edges a little bit. So now I was just saying how much I felt good getting some of these scraps out of my stash, and here I am gutting some of my scraps so that I have more scraps. But I mean, it's beautiful paper, and I just hate to have wasted all of it when none of that is going to show. And it also makes it for a real bulky layout when you've got so many layers. So I'm going to go ahead and I think it's just those two that I ended up gutting, and the rest of them are going to stay like this. But yeah, it did kind of cut down on how many layers were behind that up there at the top. We didn't want it to get too bulky, so there's also going to be embellishments on top. So that's what I did. And I definitely have enough for, at least 30 more layouts in this collection, with this collection. I think I bought 2 of everything for some crazy reason. I just love it so much. So those pieces, those arrows there are super old, probably, but I'm not positive, Technique Tuesday, way back in the day, and I'm going to alter them. But I wanted to see if it was going to work to put you on this. And of course, the title, you may have guessed, is going to be You Rock. So I went and found all of my distress oxides that I thought would work, and I kind of tried them out on the back. And then for this one, I'm kind of mimicking that one that is really my favorite paper, the biggest chunk that I didn't gut that's in this background here. So I'm kind of doing that piece right there where it's kind of got some cool mixed media looks. So I chose 3 blues and the Broken China Distress ink. I tried not to mix with the Distress oxides, and I just used the corner of my little dauber there. But then I felt like it wasn't quite dark enough. So I went in and got this Memento one. I believe it's Paris Dusk. And I added a little bit of it, and to get that darker look. It was just a little bit too light compared to the paper. And I could have added a little bit of black and kind of grayed it down a little bit, and that would have worked as well. And I probably should have, but I didn't, and I like the blue, and it's just, one of the layers. So now I'm taking this white, and this is some dilutions, and I'm just using this paintbrush that's kind of got some roughed up bristles on the end. I really don't know how you would say that. I loved how that white was looking, but the ink was really just kind of disappearing on this. So I decided to pull out some of my heavy body acrylic paint, and I'm just making those hash marks, kind of like the background piece has. And then now I'm going to move on to the greens. And so that one I wanted kind of some definite brush marks and, to mimic that paper. This one, the greens, is going to be a totally different look. So I'm blending it, I'm smoothing it, and I'm going to use a couple of colors of green. I'm getting this lighter shade down, and Mowed Lawn is the second color. The first color, I showed that so close I couldn't even see it, so hopefully you can see it. But I'm going to blend this color on it as well. You can still kind of see the undertones of that lighter, but the Mowed Lawn is the the shade that's on the top, and it's fairly light. I didn't go real heavy-handed. And the paper that's going to be right behind that has some white speckles. So I used some of the acrylic paint, and then I was lazy, couldn't find my spray bottle, and I just used some of that Dilutions ink to water it down. And you can't even see how the speckles look there. I do go ahead and just add some. I go find my bottle and add some water to the acrylic and add some more splatters to it here in a little bit. But and then this last one, yeah, that first gray that I was using was so much darker than this one. I didn't want to muddy up my ink pad. So I did the darker first and then the lighter just to add a few touches. This one I was going with more of a stone look, like the rock and some of the gray background paper that I have. And I really think these turned out. You can judge for yourself when we get the layout going here, but I think they really mimicked and look like they went along with the layout with these papers. So I did, you can see there, I added some more of the white splatters. And then on the gray one, I went back over one more time with the lightest color over the black splatters that I added, and then just brush marks that I added. I just kind of dotted it with that paintbrush that I have that's kind of weird on the ends. It does great for dry brush type stuff, so I'm liking how they really are going with the collection and matched pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and put my U right on that green one, but first, because the top and bottom is overlapping, I felt like I had to have this foam tape over the tips so that it would stay on there nice and flat and not get bent down so that you couldn't read it. Those alphas I've probably had since 2006, 2007, somewhere in there, and they just have the neatest texture to them. And I liked the navy, like I said, to finish balancing that out. And the word rock there, I wanted to put over it. You're going to see here in a minute. I wanted it to be right over top of it. So the word rock is a clear sticker. You can see it there on the right hand side. And these are a navy blue, and they have a cool gray shadow and a white shadow. You saw me put the O down and then, or maybe I haven't done it yet, put the O down and then realized I had it backwards where the shadowing is. I don't always notice that shadowing, but it didn't. I had it on backwards. And see, I put this on there. I looked at it for a minute, and it just is not going to work there. So I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put it because it is a clear sticker, and it's going to be really hard to get it to, work unless I put it on white, and I really didn't want to cover up my arrows because I like how they look. So I end up plopping it over here, and I think that works great. Right next to the gray one, and it still works well. So I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to pull out some of the die cuts. And there are a few stickers. I thought that bear was so cute. I'll have a question here in a minute about this bear. I really like how it looks right there, and I changed my mind, and I'm going to have to see what you think, because I could always go back and add it in if I have some votes for it. We'll talk about that. I like the round piece up at the top. It's got 3 mountains and then a night sky. This is from an evening walk that Mariah and Hudson took, and he was climbing up on top of that mountainous rock that they have there in their neighborhood, and just being a little adventurous 3-year-old, and I think it's adorable. I asked her for a single photo, and she sent me like 12 pictures of him climbing on this rock, and they were all so cute. I'm like, you want me to just pick one? This is so hard. So I found this one just because I thought it really looked like an adventurous one. He had some that he was pointing. He had some that he was standing straight and had a really great smile. And I kind of like the mischievous look on this one. I felt like it was a good one for the type of layout I was going for here. So the big star I thought needed something inside of it, and I loved this "Hey Good Looking," and so it kind of makes the title read "Hey Good Looking, You Rock." So I'm going to go with that. I'm adding in a few little stars for my smaller bits. I didn't really add any other smaller bits than the stars. And I dig all the way through this whole thing. And if you look in there as I'm going through this, you can see that I clearly had 2 of this embellishment pack. I have no idea why I got 2 of them. Maybe I found one on sale. We'll go with that. But I do love them, so I'm sure I can make it through 2, because there's 3 boys and they all have their own books. So, and not that I couldn't use some of this blue stuff on the girl layouts too. I mean, they look great on blue too, so we can definitely get some more layouts used with this. Still trying to decide on these little stars. I fiddle around maybe a little longer than I should have. Still trying to decide if that's what I want, but that banner one says "Adventure Awaits," and I liked it. I was a little worried I was getting too much ephemera that had words on it, but I like all the words. I don't know, I like how it looks, and I'm going to go with it. This little cluster here at the bottom has a compass, the words "Let's Go," and then "Just Be Yourself." And I realized after I stuck the sticky sticker down that it was not where I had it to start with, and it needed to be over a little bit farther for that to work. But it came off and it didn't ruin the picture, so that was good. Especially being as I literally just printed the picture and then started scrapbooking and still got all of this done in just a little bit over an hour. I think I had to come back during her super short second nap and finish it up, but I think I got most of it done during her first nap. So loving just getting it stuck down. I have the little stars. A few of them are popped up, but most of them are flat. I felt like it was enough layers already, and I didn't need a lot of stuff popped up other than what needed to be popped up to keep it from not working with the other layer that was going to be under it. So just a few little extra pop-up things, and then that's going to finish that. This is scrap timber, and I have played along almost all month. This is getting down to the getting the whole layout done in one day, actually, with the video, the voiceover, everything coming on the actual day of the prompts, which is a little bit more challenging because it's hard to get everything done in one day for me. But we do have a playlist. Everyone who's playing along, the whole bunch of all the prompts are on there. So here I'm taking this little guy off, and I really like him over there. Tell me what you think. Do I need to add him back in? Because I totally could. There needs to be a little bit of room for journaling if Mariah wants to add some. But I'm going to go ahead and add some more splatters. I leave that little bear off in the end. I kind of like that one more circular element over there. So I'm still really trying to decide if I want it. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, I a lot of times go back the second day and add more things or add one more final touch or whatever. And that little bear I just can't decide for him. So let me know. He probably got some splatters because, boy, that white acrylic, especially this heavy body, I need to just find my plain white one, but I like this one. That got literally everywhere. Every time I splatter with that stuff, I need some tips because, man, I get that stuff everywhere. These are my final close-ups, and I really enjoyed this, getting back to kind of an older, comfortable style, and I think it turned out super cute. And I will be hopefully back again tomorrow because it's my favorite prompt, stitching. So we'll see if I can get something done and get it on here, even if it's a little bit late tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.